Once you grasp this truth that I'm about to tell you, it'll set you free from religion. It'll set you free from parents and moms and family and governments and police, everybody. It'll set you free. And it's simply this: you are divine. God has exploded in a Crab Nebulae explosion, and he has come and manifested himself as billions of people. And you're one of you, and so am I. When I look at you, I see God. When you look at me, you see God. That's why God's name is I Am. I am God. It doesn't mean that me, God. It means I am. When you say I am God, you have to say, what is God's name? I am. What? I am God. Oh my God, then all the people, Christians run around, oh, I told you they think they're God. I don't think anything on the side. No, Jesus Christ said, the scripture says you are God, and the scripture cannot be broken. So he said it.
Yeah, like I'm not third album.
Peace, 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 family. How you all doing? My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of Ascendant Astrology, and I am your astrology coach. Today, I'm going to be discussing um, the moon in Aquarius, continuing my moon through the sign series. And so the moon represents your mind, your emotions, the way you think, how you behave, and how you respond to situations. It's your emotional fulfillment. It rules the fourth house. So this is home, security, family, your mother, your roots, where you come from, your ancestral line, your bloodline, and yeah. And this is our emotions that stem from survival of our childhood or the environment that we lived in that become patterns in our adult life. It's the subconscious mind. So the memories and the deep rooted memories we have from our childhood that can affect us, that can affect how we express our emotions and how we connect in relationships. Um, Aquarius rules friends, social groups, groups that you belong to, either online or in person, social media, individuality, uniqueness, eccentric, humanitarian, scientific, unconventional. These are the weirdos of the astrology. They're very futuristic and future thinking. And because it's ruled by Uranus, it's unpredictable, chaotic. They can be rebellious, although I have a different perspective on that. And, it's both ways too. You have some extremist rebellions as Aquarius, but I tend to have a different point of view on that. They can be very stubborn. They are also ruled by Saturn, and so they have very Saturnized themes with them as well. So you definitely want to go listen to the Moon and Capricorn video also, because you might resonate with that as well. They're known for being aloof and unemotional. And these people get their emotional fulfillment from organizing big events, linking others, and networking events of all kinds, really. It depends on what house it's in and what other aspects you have that'll make all the difference. But these people usually are great networkers and good at bringing people together. Um, these people want simplicity. They need proof that things are real before they believe it. They believe in creating their own path. They are very trendy, detail oriented, and structured. And in relationships, they're looking for someone who's dynamic, the center of attention, because it brings blessings to them. And in those moments, again, they get to take the lead where they get to structure and organize, the people or the situations going on within that dynamic. And that's their emotional fulfillment. Um, I think these people might have been raised by different people. They may have been detached from their mom. Even if their mom was around, she was not emotionally available. And so they're taught to deal with emotions by isolating. I think this is because Aquariuses aren't good socializers. Like they I don't think Aquariuses talk that much. I think they're more dreamers, or it's all mental. Everything is going on in the mind. Um, they need to visualize things first, right? And again, because they're ruled by Saturn, these things take time. And so it might be years before you get you actually hear an Aquarius speak, right? Like if you was growing up as a younger person, you might have not been that person that spoke for a while, even though you probably could really talk, but you might have not have spoken until maybe later on in life. Um, but that's because they are dreaming and visualizing, what they want or how they envision their life to be, right? And then until they get older, then they can kind of um, bring those things into the 3D, right? Um, I had a bunch of friends growing up as Gemini Sun and Libra rising, and I got to be the honorary Aquarian in the group. Um, and it was a very interesting dynamic. Now I have Leo in my fifth house, um, um, Aquarius in my fifth house. Sorry, so they're in opposition, and Leo in the house of Aquarius, and so I grew up having a lot of Aquarius and Leo friends. And we were dreamers. That's all we did, is talk about what we wanted to do when we grew up and how it would happen, and just different scenarios of that. And it would just, I mean, we could talk about this stuff for days and days and days and days on end. And we would even get real creative with it, and it create an event out of it, even if it was at somebody's house and it wasn't an actual real event. We would have like little get-togethers, and we would, everybody had a responsibility to bring some kind of food or something, or one person would cook depending on whoever's house we had it at, and things of that nature. And we had kids, we bring the kids with us to the house, and they would be playing while we're in the living room, just talking about our dreams and what we wanted to be when we grew up. And it was very, very interesting dynamic. um, I got told a lot that I was going to be the one out of the group to make, and that shit used to piss me off. Aquarians are like, that people are their thing. Like, people is what they do. These people are mind readers. They're really good at picking up on subtle cues and reading between the lines and in their conversations. And they would always tell me, you're going to be the one to make it out of all of us. Everything that you say you want to do, you're going to be the one to do. And that shit used to make me so fucking mad, because as spoke about very briefly in my Moon in Sagittarius, my Moon in Sagittarius video, is that I often see the greatness in everybody, right? That is my gift. That's why I do career coaching. I like the life coaching aspect of the astrology. And, my label is a coach, because I like helping people find their path, their purpose, their mission in life. And they always used to tell me that. And the reason why it made me so mad is because I'm like, no, 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 wait, we're not here because I'm gonna make it. We're here because we all have great things about us, where we have the ability to be very special and make it. And they'd be like, nah, 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 yeah, it's gonna be you, it's gonna be you. And I remember this one incident. One of my aquarium friends, he was gay, and he was the only one out of all my aquarium friends who actually switched the script. But that was because he had gone through something. He had a really bad drug addiction and almost had a near death experience. And he came to me one day and he reminded me of something that I said to him that never really left him. And so we had a deeper conversation about that. And after that, he started asking me questions. He was like, I watch you. I've noticed how you live your life and how you move. He was like, you never move outside of your circle. He's like, you have your bank right across the street from where you work. Your work is close to your home. And he started giving me all these different cues and things about myself that I never really thought about. It was just the way I live my life, right? And and he was like, I really like that about you. He was like, I think that's why, most people in the group would tell you that you're going to make it because you had something else about you, some kind of values or something. He never really put a name on as to why you're going to be the person to make it out of all of us. And I was like, okay. I was like, I can see that, and I respected that, and I thanked him for saying that to me. But then he started asking questions. He was like, why do you do that? What was it about you that got you to that point? And he would just ask me hundreds and thousands of questions about, how did I get to be like that? And he wanted me to teach him. And he's like, after what had happened to him, he was like, I don't want to live my life like this anymore. He's like, I don't have any intentions on being famous or popular or doing much with my life. He's like, but I don't want to struggle. He's like, I'm tired of struggling. And so we would have these talks quite often. And I answered all of his questions. And even to this day, he is the only friend out of all my Aquarian friends who has his life set up exactly the way I had it when I was growing up. And he'll tell me and call me for different things every now and again. Like, I'm so grateful for you. And he don't care if I get mad at him, if we get into arguments or none of that. He will call me every year. He'll come and he'll mail me gifts, like little things like that to show his appreciation because he says, I saved his life. And the reason I share that story is because I feel like Aquariuses have those abilities. I don't think they came from me. I think that came from the fact that I have Aquarius in my fifth house, right? And so it was just a very interesting thing that happened. And yeah, so I feel like, to that extent, maybe that's why I have a different perspective on Aquarian people, but um, they just have to visualize it first. We live in our head. I didn't start any of the things that I'm doing now by any other means other than thinking about it first, for a really, really long time. Or I did a lot of studying. Like I had no intentions on being an astrologer. It actually was not a part of my goals, dreams, or what I wanted to be when I grew up. However, I was big on astrology between the ages of 11, 12, and 13. I read all the books to Benjamin Banneker, which is where astrology derived from, even though that's probably not what you'll hear in mainstream. And go look up Benjamin Banneker. He's a fucking force. And I read almost every astrology book. And at that time, I was just really, really interested in astrology. There was one point in my life where if I came in contact with an Aquarius, all they needed to say was some few keywords, and I was like, "You're an Aquarius, aren't you?" It was like, "Yeah, how'd you know that?" I was like, "Oh, you don't want to know." It's a long story, but again, I'm sharing this because I really do believe that this has a lot to do with Aquarian energy. It starts in the mind first, right? And then you take that information and it grows over time, you build over time. And whatever else comes in between that, it ends up being a catalyst to the foundation that you have that you can build and create on, right? And so, um, we would get around, smoke, and talk about our dreams. And so the group piece there, and making them events and things like that starts at a very young age with them, especially, their small group of friends that they have, even though don't have a small group of friends, by the way. These people know every goddamn body. And I do mean everybody. Um, um, Also, another way that I think Aquarians learn and do things, if they don't speak again, but they will often be around a group of people, and in any um, kind of people too. These people are like to be, they're not judgmental. They have all different kinds of friends of ethnicities, backgrounds, choices of lifestyle, and all of that. And another thing that I've noticed about Aquarians is that they can be in a group of people, but they're listeners, they can come off as low-key stalkers. These are people who will watch you. They will watch you for years before they approach you. They want to know everything about you before they encounter you, because again, it starts all in the mind, right? And so um uh and when they get to that point of bringing it to people or interacting with other people, then they'll structure it and start putting things together. But they're really good listeners, right? And what they'll do is they'll listen to what everybody else is saying. They won't say anything. They'll never put their 2 cents in. They might not have nothing to say, but they will come back with a facility or a place to structure whatever it is people are talking about. Right, because they have so many different connections. These people are solution based. They'll come up with solutions to the problems within that group or wherever it is. I mean, oh, I know a place where you can go to do A, B, and C, or and they're not costly. They have free opportunities and paid opportunities. You might even have a variation of choices once they get through. These people are really, really, really good networkers. Um, they are the rebels in their family. They break traditions in their family, which often is another black sheep of the family. I forget who was the other black sheep, but I do advise everybody to listen to all of the moon signs, because you really can learn and help you expand your mind outside of just working on your own energy. Obviously, you have to start there, but as you get more into this, I challenge you to listen to all the signs and get to know all the signs, because you have all 12 signs in your astrology chart. And so something about that is going to resonate with you. And when we say it depends on what house it is and what aspect it is, those can be one of the aspects, and that's probably 9 times out of 10 why you're connecting with other signs outside of your actual sign. So that's something to keep in mind um, as you're listening to these. I highly advise people to do that, because what it does, I think this is why I hate personal astrology. I know I'm going on a tangent. Just bear with me here, okay? There's a lot going on in my brain. It's like in Mercury retrograde. But this is why I hate personal astrology, because I feel like it keeps you stuck. So if you only study the placements in your chart, then you start to validate the issues and struggles that you have, and it doesn't allow you it doesn't provide a solution. It doesn't provide you to grow. You become that victim where you're like, well, my moon is in blah, 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 and this is why I'm not succeeding, or this is why it's so hard for me, and this is why I struggle with this. And you start to emotionally connect to or psychologically connect to the traumas and triggers that you really, really, really should be challenging yourself to get up and out of. And young, again, I'm going to say it again. If you haven't watched my moon in Sagittarius, these are the things that piss me off about astrology. This is why I don't do personal astrology. To be quite frank, I think it's the worst invention in the entire world. But again, I really, really, really only say that because you're great and you deserve to be the greatest potential that you can be. And the only way you can do that is if you get out of that trauma mindset. Okay, I'll put it down. But these are the rebels, the black sheeps of the family, because they'll tend to break that tradition, whatever it is, that keeps you stuck in something, especially when it comes to their family. Or another way this can show up is that there's no tradition. These can be the atheists, the emos, those people who wear like all black and they have their nails done, or they're hardcore rock and roll people. It doesn't even have to be rock and roll. Although I do think it is rock and roll. Um, but I just think emo is a better way to say it because not even emos might not, it might not be that they listen to rock and roll. They just have a very they feel like they're very disconnected from the world around them because they're so different, or they have a different mindset or process. The way they process things is different. These could be the hardcore Black Power people, the Rastas, the weirdos. Um, um, I want to say so much more than that, but I feel like I'm going to start to go into other stuff and I don't want to get off track. So, these people are very independent and like to do things on their own. Um, I think this is low key a self-sabotaging placement as well. If they push people away. But again, I really do feel like it's an energetic exchange for Aquariuses. Um, and a lot of the times, because they have so many friends, I think a lot of it, especially with the moon being here, that it pulls at your energy. I have a Cancer moon in the 10th house, and I promise you that is a real life thing. Even if you don't know that somebody's talking about you, or they're connected to you in some kind of way, or they're thinking about you in some kind of way, you feel that shit. And it is very, 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 very draining. Um, and so again, it can come off as self-sabotaging, and for most people, I'm pretty sure it is, right? But again, I see this as somebody who needs to like energetically reset or recharge your batteries, if you will. So they do push people away, but I think again, they do it because they need to take all the information that they just gathered and process that in a way that they can come back with something unique and creative in their own way. Those things are very, very important to these people, and they're independent in that way. Um, I think these people remember everything. However, because it is in the moon, um, it's not happy here. Aquarius doesn't like being in the moon. And so they can be emotionally unstable, have anxiety, or emotionally erratic. Um, this could also be people who have like shaky, or like is it Parkinson's syndrome when you like shake all the time? I don't know what it is, but because Uranus rules electricity, chaos, and like unpredictable things, this causes like you to be in a constant vibration of shaking like this, right? And so these people can struggle with problems like such. Um, but ultimately, Aquariuses are like the elephant. These people remember everything. They never forget a moment, a period in time, nothing. These people do not miss a beat. Remember, they are stalkers, low key. Okay, I think that a better way to say that is they are extremely observant. I had this. I swear to God, this is gonna be my last story, and I won't tell no more stories. But I really could write a book about all my interactions with Aquariuses. I used to work at this 2-week inpatient program for second DUI offenders, and one of the guys who worked there, he was one of the residential people, that had to watch the people, if you will, and he was an Aquarius, an older guy. I will never forget it. Never forget it because me, I'm just like, boo-boo. I'm in my own little world. I don't be paying attention to nobody or nothing, right? And so it wasn't until after the fact that I realized he would say hi to me every day. He would come in my office every time for lunch and he would just chop it up. But just very, very nice. He's so sweet. He was the kindest person in the whole entire world. And he always made sure he had like a quote or some kind of positive saying to give whenever he spoke to me. But he did that to everybody, right? And so he would come in my office every day for lunch and check on me. He would bring me my lunch sometimes. And he just wanted to know like stuff about me. Again, he would ask me questions. And later I found out, of course, that he had a crush on me. Um, and I know what I noticed about his purpose and reasoning for coming and interacting with me was because, again, he was gathering information. And so when he found the guts or gumption to really ask me out, to see if I'd be interested in dating him, he had everything that I have ever talked to him about. I mean, every freaking conversation he remembered, he had a gift for me about that. Like I know, like as a way of saying, I know all these things about you. Like I can make you the happiest person in the world. So, for me, again, my interpretation of Aquarius is probably going to be extremely different from other people because I don't see them as aloof. These people are very methodical. They know exactly what they're doing, but they can play dumb very well, very, very well, right? But there's purpose and meaning behind what they do. Um, okay. I promise that's my last story. Um, um, they might have known that they were very different from others at a very young age. And so this could be relative to, your sexual identity, even the weirdos, humanitarians, or people who do like grassroots efforts and things like that. These are your liberals. And what they do is find a rather unique way of carrying whatever that is out, right? No matter what their identity is or how different they are, they're going to do it in a way that it's cool. Like you can't deny that the trend of what they bring to that specific population, right? I think this is what makes Aquarians really good at philanthropy. So that's another thing that's ruled by Aquarius people, that they're really good. They know how to make money off of other people, like because of the people that they know or the pedigree to the people that they know as a liberal, especially from that perspective. Not that you have to be a politician. Um, but even if you want to give it a little ghetto hood streak, this has nothing to do with being a politician. It's about who you know. Going back to what I said earlier, these people want to be connected to people who have some kind of power, or um, they know other people who have some kind of resources that can help other people, and essentially. Um, and so they will connect with those people to get things, to fund something. That's the grassroots efforts, or to, again, have a party or an event. And it doesn't always have to be money. Again, it could literally be resources where they might have a hall, but they'll get it half off or for free. Or if they can barter or bring something in as a way to say, oh, we can do this as opposed to me paying you type of thing. These people are really, really good at that because of the connections that they have. And that's another thing that makes these people very unique. They have a talent for being able to, what I like to say in the world of, white superiority is kissing ass. They'll be a white person's friend. Not that this is about race or anything like that, but they will be somebody's friend for the sake of being able to do something bigger and greater for other people, other populations, other kinds of people later down the line. Um, yeah. And again, are they rebels? Sure. These people follow the rules. That's what makes them really good at being able to be in positions to have these kinds of conversations with people. These people are non-judgmental. They will respect your boundaries. Again, they know everybody. They struggle with deep connections, but at the same time, they yearn for love and romance, but often confuse it with sex. Um, and so a lesson that I think Aquariuses can learn is how to communicate better, finding different ways to challenge yourself to be able to communicate better. Um, and also um, the learning and understanding of deep intimacy through conversation. These people don't break up. I don't give a damn. Maybe you thought you two were broken up, but I'm telling you right now, Aquarian people never forget who they date. They can tell you the time and day, all of it. They can tell you the entire details of the relationship. But that's because these people believe in friendships first, and really getting to know somebody. These things are extremely important to them. If you have an Aquarius, uh, I don't know too much about Aquarius women. I really can't say both. But if you have an Aquarius man and he's very aloof and detached, conversation is key. Get in his head. I would have conversations with Aquarius people, specifically arguments. We never argue physically or vocally. It's always through social media where I might say something and then they'd have a rebuttal. Meanwhile, we're arguing right now. We are in a disagreement. Nobody knows that but us. We would have conversations without speaking and be in person in the same room together. And I think that is the most sexiest thing ever created. But as I'm older, it can be a little toxic, okay? But um um I think getting in their head is the key to getting to really know these people. I can't tell you how to do that because every Aquarian's different, but you got to figure it out. I don't even know how I did it. I just think that I'd be making shit up. So if it's too quiet in a room, I'm like, oh, so is that what you're thinking? I'm an instigator. I like to start trouble. So that's how it always ended up working out for me. He's like, how do you know what I'm thinking? I was like, I didn't know. I was just starting trouble. He was like, and that was it. That was it for me. We're best friends after that. So anyway, family, I love and appreciate you. I hope you found this information helpful. Peace.